When you or a loved one is diagnosed with mesothelioma, the challenges can feel overwhelming. The medical treatments are expensive, the emotional toll is heavy, and the idea of pursuing legal action might seem impossible when you're already struggling. One of the most common questions people in this situation ask is, how can I afford a lawyer? The answer, in many mesothelioma cases, comes down to something called a contingency fee. In this discussion, I will explain exactly how contingency fees work, why they are so common in mesothelioma lawsuits, and what you should know before signing an agreement with an attorney. Let's start with the basics. A contingency fee is a payment arrangement where you only pay your attorney if they successfully recover money for you, either through a settlement or a trial verdict. This means no hourly billing, no upfront retainer, and no out-of-pocket legal fees during the process. If you win or settle your case, your lawyer receives an agreed-upon percentage of the total amount recovered. If you lose, in most cases, you owe nothing for attorney fees. This approach is especially helpful in mesothelioma cases, where the financial pressure is already intense and victims often cannot afford to pay for legal help upfront. In mesothelioma cases, the contingency fee percentage often ranges between 33% and 40% of the total recovery. For example, if your case settles for $1 million and your contingency fee agreement is for 33%, the attorney would receive about $333,000 as their fee. If your case is complex, involves multiple defendants, or goes to trial, the percentage might be closer to 40% because of the greater time, effort, and resources involved. These percentages may seem high, but it's important to remember that experienced mesothelioma attorneys can often secure settlements or verdicts worth far more than what someone could achieve without representation. One major benefit of contingency fee arrangements is that the lawyer typically covers all case-related expenses during the process. Mesothelioma lawsuits require significant resources. Attorneys often hire expert witnesses, such as occupational health specialists, industrial hygienists, or medical experts who can connect asbestos exposure to the disease. They may need to research company records, review decades-old documents, and gather extensive evidence from multiple sources. All of this costs money, but in a contingency arrangement, the law firm advances these costs for you. If you win, these expenses are reimbursed from the settlement in addition to the attorney's percentage. If you lose, depending on the agreement, you might not have to repay those costs at all, though some agreements may require repayment of certain out-of-pocket expenses regardless of the outcome. Another advantage is that contingency fees align the interests of you and your lawyer. Since the attorney only gets paid when you do, they have a strong incentive to secure the highest possible compensation for you. This motivation is crucial in mesothelioma cases, where damages can include medical expenses, lost wages, pain and suffering, and sometimes punitive damages. The attorney's goal becomes your goal, maximizing recovery. However, not all contingency fee agreements are the same. Before you sign anything, you should ask important questions. What exact percentage will the lawyer take if the case settles quickly? Will that percentage change if the case goes to trial? Will you be responsible for any costs if the case is unsuccessful? What kinds of expenses are included, and how are they calculated? Understanding the answers to these questions will help you avoid surprises later on. It's also worth noting that mesothelioma law firms often operate on a national scale. This means you are not limited to hiring an attorney in your own state. Many top firms handle cases across the country, traveling to clients and gathering evidence wherever necessary. This flexibility can be a major benefit because it allows you to work with attorneys who have a strong track record of winning mesothelioma cases and who understand the complex history of asbestos use in various industries. Some people hesitate when they hear the percentage involved in a contingency fee, worrying that they will lose too much of their settlement. But consider this. Without experienced legal help, you might recover little to nothing. With the right lawyer, the amount you win could be significantly higher, even after paying the attorney's fee. For example, someone might negotiate a small settlement on their own, but with a skilled mesothelioma lawyer, they might secure a settlement worth several times that amount. The higher total recovery often outweighs the percentage paid to the attorney. You should also remember that mesothelioma cases are time-sensitive. Every state has its own statute of limitations for filing asbestos-related lawsuits, and these deadlines can be as short as 1 year from diagnosis. Because of this, it's important to reach out to a qualified mesothelioma attorney as soon as possible. The sooner you start, the sooner your lawyer can begin building your case and protecting your right to compensation. Contingency fee agreements are not just about money. They are about access to justice. They allow people who would otherwise be unable to afford legal help to stand up against powerful corporations and insurers. Asbestos companies often have vast legal resources, but with a contingency fee arrangement, you can have skilled representation without worrying about how to pay for it up front. In summary, here's how contingency fees work in mesothelioma cases. You agree to pay your attorney a set percentage of any settlement or verdict they win for you. The attorney covers the costs of building the case during the process. If you win, the fee and expenses are taken from the recovery. If you lose, you generally owe nothing for attorney fees, and in many cases, you also won't be responsible for costs. This system not only removes the financial risk for the client, but also ensures the lawyer is motivated to get the best possible result. If you or a loved one has been diagnosed with mesothelioma, understanding contingency fees can give you confidence in pursuing legal action. Ask questions, read the agreement carefully, and choose a lawyer with a proven track record in asbestos litigation. The right attorney will explain the process clearly, handle the heavy lifting, and fight for every dollar you deserve, without requiring you to pay anything up front. With a contingency fee arrangement, justice becomes accessible, and the path to financial security for your family becomes possible.